God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "Listen to me, my beloved child, and feel deeply these words I now place in your hands. It was not by chance that you are here, in this exact moment. What is moving in the heavens is real, and with each passing second, I am carrying out plans that you cannot yet fully understand. Nothing will stop what I have already decreed, not time, not fear, not unfavorable circumstances nor powerful adversaries. I have already established a path for you, and it cannot be diverted. Every detail of your life, every step you took, every difficulty you faced, all were part of the construction of something greater, something that is only now beginning to be revealed. Do you feel ready for a profound change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors of abundance, peace, and the blessings that God has already reserved for us. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inner self and reflects on the outside. If you desire to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, spiritual and material, click on the first comment. There, you will find a simple practice, guided with love, that can help you connect more deeply with the divine presence in your life. Your blessing is approaching, and those who doubted or thought the promise had been lost will be surprised. The silence and the waiting were only the fertile soil where I planted what will now begin to flourish. Trust my word, for everything I promise is fulfilled and does not return without fruit. I am with you, and nothing can separate you from my purpose. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Comment, I trust in the love of God, He is my refuge. My child, many times you felt alone, your tears falling without answer, and the difficulties seeming endless. But know that I was there in every moment, watching your faith, strengthening your spirit, and guiding every step you didn't even notice. Every challenge, every silent battle, every anguish was seen by me, and I worked behind the scenes to align invisible forces in your favor. What seemed like a dead end was, in truth, a refining process. Your faith, even in moments of doubt, was the channel through which my provision flowed into your life. Every detail that seemed like coincidence was my movement, adjusting circumstances and preparing you for the great moment of manifestation. The silence, often painful, served to purify your heart and sharpen your sensitivity to recognize my hand. Today, everything that was sown in secret will be harvested in abundance. Trust that I leave nothing without purpose. You will be surprised by my love and my faithfulness, and everything that was promised will manifest in a full and glorious way. Comment, I recognize God's hand in every detail of my life. Beloved child, the battle you faced was not only earthly, but also spiritual. There were forces in the heavens fighting to prevent the fulfillment of the promise I gave you. The enemy tried to use people, circumstances, doubts, and fears to delay or even cause you to give up. But today I tell you with absolute certainty, no force can stand against what I have established. I defend those who are mine, and no plan of destruction will prevail over your life. Every attempt to confuse you, every obstacle that seemed insurmountable, I have already turned into a step toward your victory. Your perseverance and faith were the key that allowed me to act in favor of your story. Today you find yourself at a crucial point, where the promise draws near, and the manifestation of what I prepared for you is inevitable. The enemy may try, but he will never have the strength to prevent you from reaching the fullness of what was destined for you. The war was fought, but the victory is already decreed. The time of harvest has come, and you will clearly see that everything I said will be fulfilled exactly as promised. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. Isaiah chapter 55 verse 8. Comment: I rest in the wisdom and care of God, He guides my steps. Understand that I cannot be limited by human circumstances or the logic of the world. When I speak, the impossible becomes possible. When I decree, even what seems unchangeable bends before my word. My hand sustains the entire universe, and surely sustains every detail of your life. There is no obstacle that can prevail against what I have signed with my authority. Every experience you lived, every apparent defeat, every moment of doubt, everything was necessary to shape your character, refine your faith, and prepare your heart for the victory that is approaching. Do not allow fear or anxiety to overshadow what I have already established. Trust fully that every step you took, even when it seemed useless, was part of a greater plan, hidden from human eyes, but perfect in mine. Today you are about to experience the power of my work and the fullness of the promise I gave you. Keep your heart firm and your mind at peace, for I am working in your favor, and nothing can stand against my will. Comment: I believe in God's faithfulness, He never fails me. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. My beloved son, I see every fear that still tries to rise within you, but I want you to know that I am greater than everything that seems impossible. There may be delays, difficulties, and setbacks, but I am moving every detail so that everything fits perfectly in my timing. Where you saw impossibility, I created opportunities. Where there was darkness, I bring light. Where there was despair, I bring hope. At every moment, I am restoring, transforming, and opening doors that no one else can open. You will witness miracles that surpass your understanding, blessings that exceed your expectations, and restorations that will be living testimonies of my love. Every step you took, even on the hardest days, was accompanied by my presence, and everything was orchestrated to prepare you for the great manifestation of the promise. Do not let doubts erase the certainty of my work, for I am with you, and nothing can stop what I have already determined for your life. My son, every second of waiting, every moment of apparent silence, was a preparation for you to be ready to receive what I have already planned. The silence was not abandonment, it was space for me to work within you and strengthen your faith. Everything that seemed blocked will be unlocked. Everything that seemed lost will be restored. Every tear, every prayer, and every effort made in secret has been transformed into seeds that will now bloom abundantly. Patience has been the key to your spirit's growth, and your faith will be rewarded. Today, you will begin to notice signs of my presence in your life in new and profound ways, and the manifestation of the promise will become clear and evident. You will witness my work and understand that nothing that happened was in vain. I am fulfilling every word I promised you, and the joy that is approaching will surpass any pain of the past. Comment: I wait with faith and patience. God fulfills His promises in the perfect time. Beloved son, your blessing is approaching, and what the enemy tried to hide will be revealed. He tried to confuse you, making you feel forgotten or abandoned, but it was all part of my plan of preparation. What I have prepared is greater than everything you have lost, deeper than anything you imagined, and more glorious than all you have dreamed. Prepare your heart to receive this manifestation, to recognize my work in your life, and to declare victory before all. Today, every detail that seemed coincidental will be revealed as part of my perfect plan. The promise is already in motion, and nothing can divert you from it. Trust fully, my son, for I am faithful, and everything I promise comes to pass. Your life will be a living testimony of my faithfulness and glory. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. Comment: I open my heart to God's promise. He has perfect plans for me. Do not worry about time or obstacles, my son, for I move every piece of your story with perfection and care. Every apparent delay, every difficulty, and every loss has been part of the purification process, just as gold is refined by fire. I worked so that your faith would be strengthened, your vision illuminated, and your hope restored. Everything you experienced was necessary to prepare your heart for the glory that is now approaching. The testimonies, joys, and victories you are about to experience are the result of what I accomplished secretly within you. Every step of the journey, every lesson learned, and every tear shed will be transformed into a crown of victory. You have been tested and refined, and now you are ready to experience the fullness of my promise. Trust in me, for I am faithful, and my word never fails. Comment: I am refined by God's love, He transforms my life. Beloved son, the time of your exaltation has arrived. Those who witnessed your tears will now see your joy. Those who doubted your ability will witness your victory. The enemy does not fight what is small but rises against great promises. Pursue what I have placed in your heart. Every storm you faced was part of your preparation for glory, and every difficulty served to strengthen your faith and establish your character. Today, you will see clear signs of my work, notice details that were previously invisible, and understand that every difficult moment had a purpose. Prepare to witness the manifestation of what I have already established for you. Trust that I am faithful, that every word I spoke will be fulfilled, and that my Holy Spirit is with you, guiding, strengthening, and illuminating each step. Your life will be a living testimony of my faithfulness, provision, and constant presence. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Isaiah chapter 58 verse 11. Comment: I follow God's direction, He sustains and renews me. My son, your life is about to be completely and wonderfully transformed. The presence of the Holy Spirit will guide your steps, illuminate your mind, and strengthen your faith. What once seemed impossible will be accomplished, what seemed distant will be reached. Trust fully in my word and in my promise, because I am faithful, and nothing I have said will fail. The time of your harvest has come, restoration is manifesting, and victory is taking shape before you. Prepare to receive what I have already determined and to experience the abundance of my grace, my love, and my presence. Everything you have waited for with patience will be manifested, and your life will become a living testimony of my eternal faithfulness. Comment: I surrender to God's will, He fulfills His promises in my life. My beloved child, listen closely, for every word that reaches you now carves a path in the unseen realm. You have walked through valleys that others never imagined, and still you rise with a strength you hardly understand. That strength is not accidental, it is evidence of the destiny placed upon you long before you took your first breath. I have watched the storms gather against you, storms that were not created to destroy but to shape you, refine you, and bring forth a resilience that only those marked for greatness can carry. Even when darkness pressed hard against your chest and fear whispered that you would not make it, I was there breathing life into you, renewing what the world tried to extinguish. Every battle you have faced was a confirmation of what you carry inside, a purpose so powerful that the opposition had no choice but to react. Yet none of those battles were wasted. They watered the soil of your spirit, preparing you for the magnitude of what is about to unfold. You were not chosen for an ordinary path, and that is why nothing in your story has been ordinary. You were carved through pressure, strengthened through tears, and elevated through trials that would have broken many. And even now, as these words reach you, I am stirring something deep within you, an awakening, a shift, a holy alignment meant to remind you that you were never alone, never abandoned, never overlooked. I am parting waters before you. I am building paths where none existed. I am rewriting chapters that were once filled with pain. What was impossibility will become testimony. What was sorrow will become celebration. You are not merely hearing these words, you are participating in them. Every act of faith, every declaration of agreement, every choice to believe, even when your senses try to convince you otherwise, activates spiritual movement. You were chosen to hear this now because you stand at the edge of a turning point. The waiting season is ending. A new season is beginning. I have already commanded my angels to guide what belongs to you. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can intercept what I have ordained. Not jealousy, not resistance, not darkness, not delay. I myself walk before you, tearing down barriers, unlocking gates, dismantling obstacles, and opening doors with a single word. What was inaccessible will become accessible. What was confusing will become clear. What was delayed will arrive on time. When I decide to act, no power in existence can stop me. You looked to the heavens and wondered if I was distant, if my silence meant absence, if the long pauses meant forgetfulness. But silence was not abandonment, it was preparation. While you felt nothing moving, I was moving everything. While you saw no progress, I was building foundations you could not yet perceive. Every second of waiting was part of your construction, part of your shaping, part of your strengthening. And even now, as these words settle into your spirit, invisible forces continue working in your favor. Threads you cannot see are being woven together. Doors you have not yet approached are already opening. Blessings you have not yet imagined are already being positioned. Your story is aligning with my promise, piece by piece, moment by moment. And soon, You will look back and recognize that nothing was wasted, nothing was random, nothing was in vain. You are stepping into a season where what you carry will finally be revealed. The destiny that drew opposition will become the destiny that draws favor. The tears you cried in solitude will become the seeds of your greatest harvest. The strength you gained in silence will become the foundation of your testimony. You will walk with confidence, not because circumstances are easy, but because I walk with you. You will rise, not because you have never fallen, but because every fall taught you how to stand stronger. You will shine, not because you sought greatness, but because greatness was written into your identity. The path ahead is not uncertain, it is divinely structured. And although you do not yet see the fullness of what is coming, it is already set in place. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the inner shift you feel even now. You are not at the end, you are at the beginning of a divine unveiling. A new chapter has opened, one filled with restoration, acceleration, revelation, and victory. And through it all, I am with you, guiding, sustaining, protecting, and fulfilling everything I have spoken. Your blessing is not just coming, it is already here, already moving, already transforming your life from the inside out. Every fall you experienced was never the end, it was a lesson disguised as pain, teaching you to rise with greater endurance. Every closed door that once frustrated you was not a rejection but a redirection into something far more powerful. You learned to wait, not because waiting was easy, but because waiting shaped you into someone capable of carrying the blessing that is approaching. I have seen your secret tears, the ones that stained your pillow when the world believed you were strong and unshaken. I know the weight that pressed upon your chest in the silent hours of the night, when you questioned whether your faith was enough, whether your prayers still mattered, whether I still heard you. And today I tell you with unshakable certainty, your faith is being renewed. I breathe fresh wind into your spirit, wind that restores what exhaustion tried to drain, wind that ignites courage where discouragement once lived. Feel the shift within you even now. Feel the strengthening of your inner being. You are not who you were yesterday, you are becoming who I destined you to be. Nothing about your journey has been accidental. Every step, every delay, every moment of confusion has carried purpose. Even when you could not see the path recognized you. A new breath now enters you, the kind that revives what was fading and awakens what was sleeping. Where there was heaviness, I place strength. Where there was anxiety, I plant boldness. Where there was uncertainty, I anchor conviction. If you sense this unfolding inside you, it is because the spiritual atmosphere around you has already shifted. I am not the God of empty words, I am the God of accomplished promises. You will witness the extraordinary breaking into your ordinary life. What you once labeled impossible will soon become your normal testimony. The very areas where you felt defeated will be the places where I build the greatest victories. I transform shame into honor, fear into power, loss into abundance. The heavens are not silent over you, they are open, fully active, fully moving. And no force can close what I have opened. The voices that tried to discourage you will be silenced. The fears that tried to paralyze you will fall powerless. The doubts that tried to cloud your mind will dissolve. As these words reach your spirit, alignment begins. I release peace over your heart, peace that replaces worry, peace that quiets the noise, peace that becomes your new foundation. You were created to overcome. I placed an anointing upon you that strengthens you in ways even you do not recognize. You are the evidence of a promise spoken long before you understood its meaning. Every breath you take is proof of my sustaining power. Your story will not end in defeat, for the ending of your story was written by my hand, and my hand writes victory. The adversary has tried countless times to extinguish your hope, weaken your faith, and break your spirit, but he failed. And if he failed before, he will continue to fail, because you are hidden in me. No weapon designed against you will prosper. No scheme created in darkness will prevail. No curse spoken against you will take root. What I have ordained cannot be reversed. What I have blessed cannot be undone. Your blessing is sealed not by your effort, but by my authority. It moves toward you with power, with intention, with divine precision. And even now, as your mind attempts to understand what is happening, your spirit already knows, a transformation has begun. The weight that once suffocated you is lifting. The spiritual conflict around you is dissolving. The fog of confusion is clearing. For when my voice speaks, everything else must bow. I declare over you a time of renewal, restoration, and honor. This season will not resemble the ones before it. Where you once experienced delay, you will now experience acceleration. What was withheld will be released. What seemed distant will suddenly draw near. The walls that resisted you will crumble. The doors that remained locked will open without effort. What once required struggle will now come with ease, because I am stepping into your situation with force. I am the one who goes before you, straightening the crooked paths, removing the obstacles, and preparing the way. I move faster than time, stronger than opposition, deeper than fear. You will be surprised by how quickly everything begins to shift. The breakthroughs you waited months or years for will unfold in moments. The prayers you repeated with trembling hands will be answered with clarity. And all of this will happen not because circumstances changed on their own, but because I commanded change in the unseen realm. Believe this. Declare this. Speak life into your atmosphere, for your words hold creative power. Speak victory until the atmosphere bends to your faith. Now lift your voice and declare that your blessing is on the way. Speak as one who already carries the promise in hand. Faith unlocks what fear tries to block. When you align your words with what I have spoken, heaven moves in agreement. My beloved child, listen closely, for every word I now release carries the weight of a divine design that has been forming silently within the deepest layers of your journey. Nothing that you have lived was wasted, and nothing that you endured escaped my sight. Every tear became irrigation for the soil of your destiny, every disappointment became refinement, and every closed door became protection. You asked me many times to take away your pain, but I loved you too deeply to shortcut the process that was shaping you. Maturity cannot be born without process, and blessings delivered before their time become burdens that crush rather than lift. I did not deny what I promised you. I guarded it until your spirit was strong enough to sustain it. Some promises bloom only at the perfect moment, and had they arrived earlier, they would have confused you, overwhelmed you, or slipped from your hands. While you thought nothing was happening, I was reinforcing your inner structure, widening your capacity, and strengthening the root system of your spirit so the fruit would not be temporary but enduring. In the silence, I was at work. In the delay, I was aligning. In your stillness, I was building something far greater than what you had asked for, something so vast that your eyes would not have understood it had I shown it to you before. And while you wondered why certain people disappeared, why certain opportunities dissolved, and why certain paths crumbled beneath your feet, I was removing from your story anyone who could not walk with you into the elevation I had prepared. Some connections would have sabotaged your rise, some presences would have suffocated your destiny, some voices would have drowned out my whisper. So I closed doors that would have misled you, silenced influences that would have diminished you, and permitted seasons of desert so you could finally distinguish my voice from the noise of the world. The desert was never the end, it was the workshop where I forged the strength, clarity, and resilience that your purpose would require. When you looked around and saw nothing growing, I was planting roots. And every tree that stands firm against the storm must first grow downward before it grows upward. Your roots needed depth to sustain the weight of the blessing that was coming. Now that they are anchored, now that your foundation is secure, I am causing what I planted within you to break the surface. Prepared in scarcity, you will administrate abundance. Forged in loss, you will understand restoration. Shaped in waiting, you will carry wisdom beyond your years. Everything cooperated. Nothing was wasted. I even used your wounds as vessels of wisdom, your mistakes as redirections, your silence as preparation, and your loneliness as consecration. Nothing in you is accidental, every thread has been woven intentionally by my hand. When you slept, I guarded you. When you felt abandoned, I surrounded you. When your voice whispered, "I can't anymore," I instructed the angels, "Strengthen them, for the gold is still in the fire." And now the refining has reached its fullness. Now the gold begins to shine. You were not forgotten, you were preserved, secured, hidden until the appointed time. And that time is now. The waiting has finished not because the delay ended, but because the purpose matured. The harvest arrives because the field has finally received enough tears to bring forth what was planted long ago. While you waited, I constructed something far larger than what you prayed for. Had I shown it earlier, it would have exceeded your understanding, but now your eyes and your spirit are ready to see what is unfolding. Do you remember when you asked only for a sign? I am giving you more than a sign. I am giving you a complete turning of the page. What seemed impossible will become the very testimony that lifts others. What once wounded you will become the stepping stone that elevates you. What once limited you will become the platform upon which you rise. I never waste suffering. I transform it into authority. Every heartbreak made you more like me. Every pruning preceded a season of blooming. Now I breathe a new time over your life. The time of waiting yields to the time of manifestation. What felt distant begins to materialize before you. People will be drawn to you without understanding why. Favor will find you without your pursuit. What was locked will now open effortlessly. This is not coincidence, it is fulfillment. Heaven is responding to your faithfulness. You remained faithful even when understanding failed, and that moves my heart more deeply than you know. Faith that stands in darkness is faith that opens the heavens. I saw you praying when exhaustion weighed on you. I saw you helping others even when you needed help yourself. I saw you sowing love even when you harvested indifference. Every act of quiet faith was recorded. Not one gesture fell into the void, each one became a seed planted in the most fertile soil. And now, at the precise hour, those seeds have matured into a harvest that far exceeds the original offering. Your story is not the story of someone who merely waited, it is the story of someone who, within the waiting, was reshaped into the perfect vessel for what was coming. You will not only receive what you asked for, you will also recover everything that was stolen, broken, delayed, or buried. Time will be restored. Joy will return. Honor will be rebuilt. Relationships will be renewed. What the enemy believed he had destroyed became the very ground on which your destiny is being built. The opposition unknowingly served a higher purpose, for even darkness must bow when I turn pain into destiny. Now begins the season of accelerated restoration. I do not move with human measurements, I move with abundance. Your harvest will reflect not your weakness but your endurance. What you waited years for, I will release in months. What seemed distant will arrive suddenly. This is not luck, this is promise fulfilled. And now I declare that every deviation, every detour, every unexpected twist was never a departure from the path, it was the path. Every "not yet" was an affirmation of timing, every delay was an act of precision, every setback was a setup for alignment. Your tears watered what your faith planted. Your waiting fortified the structure that will now sustain your blessing. Your nights of silence prepared you to receive clarity. You believed you were standing still, but I was orchestrating movements in realms you could not see. Forces you never perceived were working on your behalf. Threads you thought were unraveling were actually being woven together in a tapestry so intricate, no human mind could have designed it. And now, my child, the season shifts. The weight lifts. The promise breathes. The alignment becomes visible. What I have been completing in the unseen will now appear in the seen. And when it unfolds, you will understand why it could not happen a minute sooner or a moment later. So rise now with a renewed spirit, for your journey has arrived at the turning point ordained since the beginning. Let the past remain behind you, not as a shadow but as a foundation. Let the process become your testimony, the tears your authority, the silence your intimacy with me. You were shaped for this moment, refined for this hour, prepared for this manifestation. Nothing can hinder what I have set in motion. Nothing can block what I release. Nothing can silence what I decree. The time of fulfillment has come, and you will stand in awe at how everything, every trial, every prayer, every moment of despair, has converged into this season of divine manifestation. Walk forward with boldness, for heaven has gone before you. My beloved child, the time has come for the very chapter that once seemed silent to rise and speak on your behalf. You were forged in the places where no one saw you, shaped in the nights when your tears became your language, and strengthened in the moments when the world assumed you had been forgotten. But while others wondered where you had gone, I was writing a chapter so radiant that it would silence every question ever raised about your destiny. You will not have to defend yourself, for the results will become your voice. Your transformation will be your explanation, your growth will be your vindication, and your victory will be the mark by which your story is remembered. You will no longer be defined by the pain you endured, but by the crown you now carry. Do not be afraid of the new time unfolding before you, even though the long wait has taught you caution. Now is the moment to trust again, to stretch again, to open your heart once more. I am shifting the winds in your favor, and what once ignored you will now call you by name. Opportunities that once passed you by will return with insistence. Influence that once felt unreachable will be placed into your hands with purpose. This elevation is not meant to inflate your pride but to expand your reach. What I am giving you is not merely a blessing, but a mission. You are being positioned not for applause, but for impact, for through your testimony others will find their faith again. Your story will awaken hope in those who feel forgotten, and your survival will become fuel for the weary. Your restoration will build a bridge for those on the verge of surrender. Nothing in your journey was wasted. No tear fell without purpose. No unanswered question remained without meaning. I shaped you as a warrior in the hidden battles. You learned to fight on your knees, to win without a sword, to grow without applause, and to believe without evidence. Now I place in your hands the authority that flows from endurance. When you speak, your words will carry weight, because they will be born from truth instead of theory. Where you go, the atmosphere will shift, not by charisma but by my presence dwelling within you. People will feel peace simply by being near you, for I have prepared you not only to be restored but to become a vessel through whom my light travels. You are no longer who you used to be. What once crushed you will now strengthen you. What once frightened you will now lift you. You are stepping into your harvest, and I will give you discernment to protect what is coming, for opposition may try to distract you, but now you recognize the voice of truth. Remember that when I bless completely. I touch not only the external but the internal, not only the visible but the invisible. I heal the heart as much as I provide for the hands. Your mind will become lighter, your body will gain renewed strength, your spirit will breathe freely again. My peace does not depend on circumstances but transforms them. It is the unmistakable sign that heaven has already declared victory over your life. Even now, as you take in these words, my spirit wraps around you. The weight that pressed against your chest begins to lift. The anxiety that clouded your thoughts begins to withdraw. You feel my presence confirming what I speak. In this very moment, I touch you. I remove the burden the enemy placed upon you. I dissolve the fear that once paralyzed you. I break the chains that tied you to your past. You are free. Your mind becomes fertile soil for new visions, fresh ideas, and renewed clarity. You will dream again. You will plan again. You will believe again. I am renewing your faith from the inside out, causing doors to open naturally, without strain, without forcing, without fear. With love, God. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.